Attention, please. We can have your attention, please. Please have everybody sit down. Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Taos County. We'd like to welcome U.S. Senator Tom Udall to the podium.
Wonderful day, isn't it? This is a really wonderful occasion, and thank you all for being here. I'm going to kind of be the MC here, talking and introducing people and trying to share some of the thoughts that I've had over the 6 or 7 years watching this happen. But let me just start by thanking Taos County for the facilities and the help and everything they've done here. Marvelous new facility. I think many of you have been watching these images while you've been waiting for us to get started. We had hoped to have kind of a streaming directly from the White House, and we were unable to get it wasn't our fault here, it was their fault on that. But anyway, we were very excited about just seeing these images and seeing what's happening. So let me recognize, now I know this is a dangerous thing for an MC, but I'm going to recognize a few folks here in the audience. There may be others. Where's Michelle, ma'am? You know, if I really miss somebody in a bad way, pass her a note and I'll get it. She's been here for a couple of hours kind of working things, and I think she's probably done a very good job. The Taos County officials that are here, you saw him just a moment ago. County Manager Stephen Archuleta. Stephen, let's give you the Deputy County Manager Rick Bellis is here. Where's Rick? Don't be shy. Stand up and wave, okay? When I announce your name. County Commissioners Larry Sanchez and Gabe Romero. Town of Taos Councilor Andrew Gonzalez and Fred Peralta. That I haven't hit? Okay, good. And then apparently we have 4 lieutenants to the governor of the Taos Pueblo and the war chief here. I'm not sure where they are. And the village administrator from the village of Cuesta, Jim Fambro. Representative Bobby Gonzalez. Now we also have Bobby Ortega with Kit Carson. And the CEO, Luis Reyes. Judge Jeffrey Shannon is here, I believe. And we also have District Attorney, I saw him earlier, Donald Gallego. Taos UNM Director, Dr. Kate O'Neill. And I believe there are also representatives from the U.S. Forest Service and the BLM here, and we very much welcome you. And as we move along, we may be, all of us may be visiting with you. Now, I thought, you know, what a better way. I see Kendall Clark back there. Kendall, you're with the Forest Service. So I thought, what a better way to celebrate this, rather for me than be in Washington, to be here in Taos. Yes. We split up everything. We split up everything, and we've got a contingent in Washington, and I'm going to announce some of the folks that Did I miss that list? Oh, here we go. Okay. There were several supporters in Washington that would have loved to have been here, but they wanted to be in Washington and represent the key alliance that did a lot. And so those leaders and supporters that are attending the White House ceremony, Cuesta Mayor Esther Garcia. John Olivas of the New Mexico Wilderness Alliance is also there. And Max Trujillo of the New Mexico Wildlife Federation. And there were also several people who were unable to be here today. Roberta Salazar with Rivers and Birds. She's out of town, but her staff and then I think Stuart Wild of Wild Earth Llama Adventures. So I'm going to keep my opening remarks brief here, but I just wanted to say a couple of things. And the first one is to acknowledge the hard work of Senator Jeff Bingaman. Jeff started this with his staff and coming out here to the community in 2007. 2007. Now that sounds like a long time ago to everybody, but the thing to remember is that sometimes national monuments have taken decades. I've known of national monuments, watching them at the national level and studying the history of monuments. Some have taken 30 years, but this is 6 short years. And I think a lot of that had to do with the perseverance of Senator Bingaman and his staff and the incredible local coalition, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But this was a remarkable effort where local people really pulled together, and Senator Bingaman saw that, came out here, got his staff working on this, and just to recognize one thing, this is part of Senator Bingaman's legacy, because you remember in 2009, when President Obama came into office, we hadn't had wilderness conservation legislation for a long time, public lands legislation, and in that short period, with all the things that have been backed up by filibusters and things, Senator Bingaman passed a the best bill. It had been held up with first bill in 25 years. It was called the best piece of wilderness legislation, and it's just part of his legacy, this Rio Grande Del Norte and all of the things he's done. So let's once more kind of send him vibes. He's there in Washington. He's there in Washington. Attending the ceremony. Now, just a word about the economic impact that I think this has for the community, because I think we should recognize in doing this, we may well help boost an effort here in the county to try to have some more visitors that come and eat at restaurants and stay at places. And a recent study showed that about $15 million of additional economic activity would occur as a result of monument status, and 279 more jobs. And we always need more jobs in Taos, right? So finally, let me just talk a little bit about the coalition, because I've learned over the years that I've been your elected leader here in New Mexico that you don't get anything done unless you have local people on the ground who really care. And that's what this coalition or alliance was. And it so cross-cuts the community here in northern New Mexico, it's hard to describe. I mean, you can pick out a few names. You can say, you know, outfitters and land grant heirs and hunters and anglers and conservationists and recreationalists and environmentalists. You can use all of these descriptive words of the different people that came together. But more than anything, it was this coalition, this grassroots coalition that just kept growing and reaching out and relying on each other to say, let's spread the word a little farther. Let's reach out to this individual. So that's what I think we're doing here and what we're recognizing. And the delegation, as Senator Bingaman led on this, I was over in the House and started working with him on it. As you know, at the beginning of this year, after Senator Bingaman left, we took the lead and put in a bill because we wanted to let the White House know you need to move on this quickly. We wanted to see if there were any opportunities for legislation. But we're very, very excited now that all of this has happened. And so, as a result of this, and there are going to be many celebrations. We're going to bring Senator Bingaman back here, right, to pat him on the back. I think Ken Salazar is going to be here very soon to have a celebration, I think on Good Friday. And so we're going to have many, many celebrations. I hope to attend as many of those as possible. But now you're going to hear from some of the people that were involved with this and hear their words and why they worked on this. And let's start here with the opening prayer by the Taos Pueblo War Chief. Please come forward.
Lieutenant War Chief Matthew Montoya, standard. I'm honored here to represent my Taos Pueblo War Chief and Government staff. This is a very important day to remember because we are, as we speak here today, my War Chief and Lieutenant Governor are bearing witness to the signing of the proclamation of the National Monument for the Rio Grande Del Norte in Washington, D.C. I would like to thank Senator Udall and Senator Bingaman for their efforts for pushing this through, and also wishing this Senate and the President of the United States, Barack Obama. I would like to thank the town of Taos and the Rivers and Birds delegations for maintaining the close partnership with the Taos Pueblo, and one day our kids and their grandchildren will thank us for preserving something that is sacred to us and to Taos County. Thank you very much.
Matthew, thank you very much, and I very, very much appreciate that very nice prayer and statements from the Pueblo, and we know what a key role the Pueblo did play. We are going to have speakers from both of the congressional offices. Senator Martin Heinrich, we're going to have Field Representative Andrew Black, who's going to read something today. Andrew, please.
Good afternoon. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you here this afternoon. And I think it behooves all of us to begin first by thanking Senator Udall for his good work and continuing Senator Bingaman's good work in doing that. And from a staff member perspective, it really is a beautiful moment to be up here today. Both myself and Janelle Frederick worked with Senator Bingaman previously on these efforts, and it's just amazing. And we both want to extend our appreciation to all of you from the coalition side, because it's because of the community support, because of the efforts of all of you that this was able to be done today. I'd like to offer a statement from Senator Heinrich, who's actually in Washington, D.C. with Senator Bingaman and President Obama actually at this ceremony. And here's Senator Heinrich's words. Today is a historic day for New Mexico and for our nation. President Obama has assured that the Rio Grande del Norte, a symbol of what makes our state truly enchanting, will be preserved as a national monument for generations to come. From the tops of the Cerro de la Hoya and Ute Mountain to the depths of the Rio Grande Gorge, to the Rio Grande del Norte is one of the most spectacular places on earth. Our state's newest national monument will improve quality of life for all who hunt, fish, and float there, for all who benefit from the tourism dollars it brings, and for all who pass on New Mexico's many outdoor traditions both old and new, to their children in such a magnificent setting. As Teddy Roosevelt put it in 1912, we do not intend that our natural resources shall be exploited by the few against the interest of the many. For our aim is to preserve our natural resources for the public as a whole, for the average man and average woman who make up the body of the American people. This historic monument designation would not have been possible without the tireless efforts of our local community, businesses, sportsmen, tribes, elected officials, veterans, and many others who have dedicated years of hard work to protecting and conserving this area. I want to give particular thanks to Jeff Bingaman for championing this effort, and to my friends and colleagues, Ken Salazar, Tom Udall, Ben Ray Lujan, and to President Obama for recognizing just how special the Rio Grande del Norte is. Let us revel in this moment and continue to heed the call of building a brighter future for all of New Mexicans. Sincerely, U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich. Thank you.
Andrew, thank you very much for those kind words. And now we have Jennifer Manzanares, who's field representative with Representative Ben Ray Lujan. Jennifer.
Buenas tardes to everyone. And Senator, thank you for the invitation. And it's hard to go after 3 distinguished gentlemen like this. So a message from the congressman. He really wishes he could have been here, but unfortunately he had another travel that he had to take care of. So he sent a message, and he has said, "Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here in this exciting occasion. I wish that I could be with you in person, and I appreciate the opportunity to share a few words with you. Today is an exciting day for all those who appreciate the majestic beauty of the Rio Grande del Norte and who have such strong connection to the land. Whether it's for recreation or ranching, sustaining a way of life, or finding inspiration, the Rio Grande del Norte leaves a lasting impression on all those who visit and all those who live off the sustenance it provides. Thanks to the hard work of so many in the community and the support of President Obama, this treasure of northern New Mexico will be protected and preserved for future generations." I want to give special thanks to Senator Jeff Bingaman for his tireless efforts on this important issue and recognize my colleagues in the delegation, Senator Udall, who has been working for years, as well as Senator Heinrich for their efforts. I also want to thank those in the community who have worked so hard on this. As you may know, I grew up here in northern New Mexico in the community of Nambe. It was there that I learned the importance of land and water around us, as it sustained our livestock and provided for our family. I learned that we must be good stewards of the land and protect, which is so essential, our way of life. Living in New Mexico, we have a special connection to the majestic land we are so blessed to live on, and the Rio Grande del Norte is one of the crowning jewels in our state. For generations that predate the United States government and the U.S. Forest Service, our ancestors called the small villages, towns, and pueblos in the region home. Native American and Spanish settlers lived off these lands. And because we have worked so hard to protect it, to get to this point today, this land will still remain a special place that preserves traditions and cultures for generations to come. Again, to everyone who played a part in the efforts, who showed their support for protecting the Rio Grande del Norte, thank you. Sincerely, Ben R. Lujan, Member of Congress.
Jennifer, thank you very much. And we also, I think, have a representative. She's not going to speak with my cousin up Colorado, Senator Mark Udall, Aaron Minks. Where is Aaron? Aaron, we just want to thank you for coming down. Some people try to figure out, well, how do we keep all these Udalls sorted out? Which one is which? And when we just say, can you vote for the Udall nearest you? On the next series of speakers, I'm not going to give long introductions because I want to give them the amount of time they need to cover the subject here. And so I'm going to start with Cisco Vergara, owner of the Los Rios River Runners. Cisco played a key role in this, and we wanted him to speak on behalf of the folks that run rivers, but on behalf of everything that we've seen happen. Cisco, raise your hand.
It's an honor to be able to speak to you distinguished citizens and elected officials. Being the owner of one of the largest employers in Taos County, one of the poorest counties in the nation, I've been asked to talk to you about jobs and economic impact that this designation has. My whitewater rafting company and many other recreational companies are already hiring extra staff and investing in infrastructure in anticipation of the increased visits we're going to receive. The dollars that those visitors spend at our companies can be multiplied many times as those visitors rent cars, buy gas, buy groceries, stay in the hotels, buy the art, visit the emergency rooms. All part of the economic boost. And I would like to personally thank the congressional delegation, but especially your hardworking staff behind the scenes, the people that do all the dirty work that make you look good. And also the many individuals and grassroots organizations who for many, many years have worked on this particular project, and it's so overwhelmingly inspirational to see it finally coming through. The economic impact that having reliable water levels in the Rio Grande could have to our small community is tremendous. And we see this as a giant step forward into gaining those water levels in the Rio Grande. Irrigators take out water in Colorado and they leave us with very little. During the summer tourist months, the river gets down to single-digit trickles across the state line. If we could have reasonable water levels, it would really be a huge boost to our lifestyles and the economic impact for this small community. Spending so many decades hiking, camping, fishing in the Rio Grande Gorge, Rio Grande Del Norte, and the many thousands upon thousands of miles that I've floated in that canyon, I also feel that I'm the voice of the river. And the river is telling us it's thirsty, it needs water. Colorado many years ago started stealing our water, and we won it back. Viva el Rio Grande del Norte!
Que viva. Those staffers that make me feel good, there's one of them, right? Look good, feel good, all of that. Michelle, give it a giveaway. Michelle Hawkins. Matt Miller's in here someplace roaming around, and you know many of them as they visit the community. We now have a speaker that's going to speak on behalf of the commission. One of the things that really made a difference to President Obama, because he looks for consensus in doing this, is that you have the Taos County Commission pass resolutions. Members of that commission speak out. So I call on Tom Blankenhorn now to speak on behalf of the commission. Thank you, Tom.
Well, it's my great honor to welcome you all here today to our commission chambers. Thank you very much for coming. And El Rio Grande del Norte is an area that has been cherished by people who lived here since people have first lived here. And we are so pleased and proud of this designation as a national monument. We're hopeful that it will encourage people to come visit and see its grandeur for themselves. And we are mostly comforted that it will be preserved for time immemorial. And So I want to give special thanks to Senator Udall, who left the cherry blossoms in D.C. to come be with us here today, and to our entire congressional delegation, who in this time of sequestration and gridlock, we're still able to get this done and get it on the President's desk. Thank you, President Barack Obama, for signing it, and of course, for Senator Bingaman for having pioneered this effort back 6-7 years ago. And of course, the local coalition, that incredible local coalition that came together, both diverse and unified in their efforts to make this happen. As any of you who have ever been to this chamber before knows, in seeing Taos County government work, we are always diverse, but we are not always unified. But in this case, we have our town representatives here, the Pueblo, and the commission itself. Each of the governmental entities passed resolutions in favor of this. We had people from the environmental community, business community, sportsmen, sportswomen, people from all walks of life who have worked hard to make this happen. And it's a wonderful day, it's a great celebration. Again, thank you all for being here. On a personal note, 40 years ago, or nearly 40 years ago, when I first came to Taos County, I lived in Cuesta. And we used to go up to La Junta, which is where the Red River joins with the Rio Grande, and each of those rivers cut this beautiful gorge to form their union. And it's a truly spectacular place, the hiking and the fishing, it's just so wonderful to be there. And I know, I remember that after having been in Cuesta and lived here for a few years, my parents came out to visit. I guess it became clear to them that I wasn't going back to Philadelphia to live. And, they came to see what I was up to out here, and I showed them all around. But I brought them to La Junta with special pride that this gem was in our neighborhood, and we had a fine day up there, and they were much more impressed with La Junta than they were with my $50 a month rental house in Cuesta. But now everything worked out, and I've got a grandson and another one coming, and it won't be long before I can take them up there and enjoy the place with them. And because of everybody's hard work, this will be so forever, for every generation. So thank you.
We also have the same effort from the city level, where a resolution was passed, where great city support, and we have, speaking here on behalf of the city, the wonderful mayor of Taos, Darren Cordova. Darren, welcome.
Thank you, everyone. It's an honor and pleasure to be here on this celebration of this historic designation. The Rio Grande del Norte is a historic and cultural haven in New Mexico. The Rio Grande del Norte is an integral part of our community and economy. It's a jewel in northern New Mexico that is comprised with more than 240,000 acres of BLM managed lands in and around Taos County and Rio Rico County. And no, we don't have any plans on annexing those areas. So that, from the Taos Media, make sure you have that. We are blessed by its beauty and fortunate to live here. I would like to, on behalf of the town council, extend our sincere appreciation to Senators Tom Udall, Martin Heinrich, and also our Congressman Ben Ray Johan for their efforts in doing this. Also to former Senator Jeff Bingaman for championing this cause. He truly is advocate for northern New Mexico. These legislators have worked very hard and tirelessly on our behalf, and we really appreciate that. This designation is going to protect wildlife habitat, and it also protects from development that will destroy our most precious resources. Finally, I would like to thank President Obama for recognizing the uniqueness of the Rio Grande del Norte. Mr. President has ensured that this legacy will live on for future generations so that we can all cherish it as a community. Senator, thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, one of the the parts of this that gratified me so much was seeing the people with very, very deep roots here become a part of this effort. And I mentioned earlier, I talked about land grant heirs. I didn't mention, and I should have, the acequias and the acequia organizations, and the ranchers and the users of the lands. And one of the representatives who's here right now, I think his family's been on the land in this area for 400 years. Armenio Martinez. Armenio, with us today. We really appreciate that. Thank you. And next we have, with the Mexico Wilderness Alliance, I said earlier the head of the alliance was in Washington, but Tisha Brodsky is here, and she's going to speak on behalf of the alliance. Thank you for being here.
Honored to be here today, and I not only want to say thank you on behalf of the 5,000 members of the Mexico Wilderness Alliance, but as a mother. Rio Grande del Norte is one of my family's favorite places to camp, fish, and hike. We love it there. It provides us a lot of great spiritual inspiration. I'd like to thank President Obama and Secretary Salazar for listening to the community and for protecting these public lands for my children and for all Americans. For more than 6 years, New Mexico Wilderness Alliance has been working to permanently protect Rio Grande del Norte. Leading the way since 2008 has been our traditional community organizer, John Olivas. John has truly been the boots on the ground. He has worked to gain widespread support for Rio Grande del Norte, and I'd like to thank his wife Pam for being here today too to represent John. There are so many people and groups who have been critical to the success of this campaign. I'd like to recognize the dedicated coalition who worked together for this common goal. And I'd like to thank former Senator Bingaman and his staff member, Jorge Silva, who originally introduced legislation for Rio Grande in 2009. We'd like to dedicate this victory to him. Thank you to Senator Tom Udall and Senator Martin Heinrich and Congressman Lujan for their ongoing support. I'd like to thank the current and past staff members who worked on the campaign, with a special thanks to John Olivas. I'd like to thank the Mayor of Cuesta, Esther Garcia, who's also back in Washington. Former Governor Bill Richardson was also a big supporter of this campaign. I'd like to thank Lighthawk, who helped us take our delegation staff on several flyovers over the gorge. And I'd like to thank the local chambers of commerce, the Taos Green Chamber of Commerce, the Taos Chamber of Commerce, the Mora Valley Chamber, the Taos Business Alliance, and the Taos Tourism Council. And more than 200 businesses that support this designation. I'd like to make a special thank you to the Taos Brewing Company, who will be hosting the party coming up here in the next week or so, and for dedicating a new beer to the Rio Grande del Norte. They sent the case back to President Obama, so we're hoping he's toasting that today. I'd like to thank the local governments who supported this, the Taos Pueblo, the Taos County Commission, Town of Taos, and the Village of Cuesta, the Santa Fe City Council as well. And I'd really like to take another minute to thank the coalition that has worked so hard with us. The sportsman organizations and conservation groups. I'd like to thank the Wilderness Society and the Sierra Club, Rivers and Birds, and especially Roberta Salazar, worked very hard on this. The Taos Fly Shop, Trout Unlimited, Autobahn, and we are all grateful for Stuart Wild at the Waldorf Llamas and Cisco's involvement as well, and to Jeremy at the Green Chamber. We are so happy that President Obama recognized the ecologic, cultural, and economic values of these public lands, and that people in New Mexico have been connected to for generations and will continue to enjoy for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those very, very nice comments. And we're going to end here very soon, but we're going to have cake afterwards, and that cake was provided, my understanding, by Pam and John Olivas. So Pam's here. You'll help us cut it, I hope. But thank you for that. Thank you for the cake, and and thank you for providing some of the refreshments which we will enjoy momentarily here. Our final speaker represents the Taos Green Chamber and the Taos Tourism Council Director, Jamie Tedesco. Jamie.
Welcome, and it's an honor to be the closing speaker today, and I'm excited to be here. This is a testament to when we all work together, we win. And so what you can see right here is the poster that's been designed by the Green Chamber and the Partnership for Responsible Business. And we're really excited to be here and display these. If anybody would like one, we do have them available actually right outside the door. So please take them. It's a limited edition, and it's going to be a great piece of history for time to come. I do want to just say, at this point, you've heard all the names of all the people involved, and it's so important. But I do want to just say the coalition is amazing. I've been really impressed to see how every person played a role. And I can't underscore it enough that these public and private partnerships are so critical moving forward to getting things done at the government level as well as our state level. So thank you to all the partners that have stepped up and played a huge role in making the Rio Grande Del Norte a national wonder. I'm not going to belabor this too long here, but I do just want to say I had a personal call from Stuart Wild, who owns Wild Earth Lawman Ventures, at my home yesterday, and he was very disappointed that he could not be here today because he's so busy. His phones have been ringing off the hook, and he is a member of the Green Chamber of Commerce at Cisco. Thank you so much for being here today. And he basically begged me, and he said, hey Jim, he said, would you read a statement for me? And I said, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and at the end we have a special presentation for Tom. Just bear with me here, I'll read this very fast. Senator Goodall, thank you for coming to Taos to celebrate this historic event with the people of northern New Mexico. It really means a lot to all of us. I want to thank you for your dedication and commitment to seeing the Rio Grande Del Norte protected for future generations. I'm a local wilderness guide and BLM permitted outfitter in the Rio Grande Del Norte. I'm blessed to earn my living by bringing people from all over the world to this special area to recreate and marvel in this New Mexico's pristine wilderness. In fact, the reason I'm not here today is because I'm out with a group on a multi-day hiking trip in this newly designated national park. Visitors come to northern New Mexico to enjoy and experience our public wildlands. Protecting our special places like the Rio Grande Del Norte is of utmost importance to us all. We will ensure for future generations that visitors will return and continue to come and attract new people to our area. This benefits the entire business community as a whole, from outfitters and guides like myself, all the way down to local establishments such as restaurants and local merchants. This is a model of sustainable economic development that creates jobs, benefits, and for both locals and visitors alike. Best of all, it's a model that is based on respect for the land and honors all of our traditional communities. It's truly been an honor to work with the coalition and all of the people involved in such an amazing project in this effort to protect the Rio Grande Del Norte. I'd like to recognize one more time all those who have worked for many years and thousands of hours on this project. For the next 3 days, as I said, I will be camping with my llamas and my guests along the banks of the wild Rio Grande in the heart of the new national monument. This place where I will pitch my camp tonight is called La Junta, which in Spanish means the Union. It is the confluence of the Red River and Rio Grande. To me, it will always be a symbol of how we came together as a community to protect New Mexico and the icon that the Rio Grande Del Norte is. Thank you very much, and we'd like to have Tom stand up, and we're going to present him a framed poster that he can take back with him for his office.
My final closing words, and Linda, I didn't forget you, don't worry, because I wanted to mention you in these final closing words. Ben Renduhan, Martin Heinrich, and I came out about 6 weeks ago, and we were talking about, do we want to push the monument, do we want to put in legislation, and all of you, there was a group that pulled together that we met with, and there were about 40, and about half of them spoke. And the most, Linda Calhoun, the mayor of Red River, was one of the ones that spoke. I didn't mention her earlier, but she, like all the other officials here, just played a key role. But looking at that room and seeing everyone who spoke, I just, the diversity struck me, the continuity in the community, the hanging together. And it was just a remarkable thing to see. And we, just as one of the other speakers mentioned, I said, you know, usually up in Taos there's a little bit of contentiousness. I said, but on this issue, everybody united. Everybody united and came out and said, we've got to do this. And so let's just remember, when we do things together, we get great things done. Thank you all very much.
Dave said not to worry, he'll hold the table. He's pragmatic about these things. Pretty good. It's awesome. I love every second of it. You're already bored?
I hope we didn't pick up any of my audio.